Hi, my name's Jordy, and today I'm going to talk to you about recycling. Recycling is probably more helpful than you think. All the different ways it helps us may surprise you. I hope that the interesting information I'm about to give you encourages you and motivates you to want to start recycling as well. I've done a lot of research on recycling and found several shocking reasons why recycling is needed so badly. Recycling helps to protect our wildlife, it reduces the need for landfills, and it continues to promote economic development. Everybody needs to be recycling so that we have a clean and safe place to live here on Earth. Recycling helps to protect our wildlife and their habitats because when we recycle, we're using fewer natural resources. When we recycle, we start to learn that reusing what we have instead of being a throwaway society is really better. Without reusing things, we are using up the natural resources that we have constantly. We need to look at the bigger picture and think of our future instead of focusing on what can make our lives easier today. There are so many different things that you can do to recycle without actually, going to a place that they do recycling and giving them your stuff. For instance, when we go to the grocery store, we still get the plastic bags, but we bring them home and afterwards we don't just throw them away. We save them and we take them to an organization that uses them and puts them together to make plastic mats, and they take them downtown under the bridge to the homeless for them to lay on, and that gives them something that will stay dry and that will be a cushion for them to sleep on at night. The plastic island is a plastic mass in the Pacific Ocean. It's twice the size of Texas. It's just a floating garbage pile in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. The ocean actually, because of the waves and just the way it is, it breaks down the large masses of plastic into just little pea-sized pieces of trash. And that looks edible to any sea creature. There's over 100,000 marine animals that die every year from the ingestion of plastic. Recycling helps to save our wildlife, and it also helps to reduce the amount of trash that we put in our landfills. Each time you recycle, it helps to reduce the need for landfills. There's 150 million tons of trash per year that go into our landfills, and just from recycling, it saves about 60 million tons. Trash is made to bury, it's not made to break down. So when you put trash into a landfill, it stays in almost perfect condition for 40 years. There's been newspaper clippings that have come up out of landfills and that have been completely readable still after 40 years. The Fresh Kills landfill covers 2,200 acres, and it can be seen from the naked eye in space. It's actually as tall as the Statue of Liberty. The chemicals from this landfill enter the air in a variety of ways, and we're breathing them in every day. My last reason that recycling is so important is that it helps us economically. Recycling helps provide jobs and helps to promote economic development. It's actually much cheaper to use recycled material. For instance, fresh aluminum costs twice as much when needed new than when we can recycle it because of the energy it takes to take the aluminum out of its raw form. Recycling provides twice the economic benefit as burying it in the ground would. It brings in more salaries, it brings in more goods and services, and more sales. For instance, in California, there are 85,000 jobs alone, and there's $4 billion in salaries. So let's review what we've talked about. As you can see, obviously, recycling is one of the best ways to help our environment. It saves the wildlife and their habitats, it helps reduce the landfills, and it helps with economic development. But there's more ways than just those three that I mentioned. If you research, you'll find so many more ways, there's just tons. So go research and find out all the different ways that you can recycle. There's tons of ways that you can help, even by just turning the water off when you brush your teeth. So go start recycling.